Hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you, giving you game number 2 between Yumiko and Nicker. This is a game here on Terranistan, and unfortunately there are no observers, meaning I have to watch from the point of view as one of the players. Yes, they have not, for some reason, adjusted the replay system in WarCraft 3. That would be much appreciated. Not adjusting the replay system, making it rather difficult to figure out what's really going on if you don't have both sets of people, or select one of the players, but then you can't really see what's going on with the other player when you click on their buildings and how much gold they have. Anyways, a little bit of a rant aside, let's see what's going to be going down here in game number 2. It looks as though Nick are already opening up with an Ancient of War creep off over here. You can see that the Ultra of Elders is down, so it is not going to be a Tavern hero. Apparently, Nicker feels safe enough to go for a traditional Ancient of War creep just because of the walking distances between these two bases. Now, what is Yumiko's response going to be? Well, Yumiko should take advantage of the fact that this is Terranistan. There is a lot of places to creep, and I wouldn't be surprised if both of these players really didn't engage each other until quite some time later. That's something that actually happens a little bit more often later on, where the players don't really want to engage each other because there's just so much time investment just getting onto the other side of the map. You can see that the Ancient of War is already training up an archer that will be popping out in just a moment. Meanwhile, it is a Demon Hunter coming out, so I am expecting casters coming in from the Archmage as well. Alright, so Archmage, caster, we'll see what exactly the composition is going to be as the Ancient of War already engaging here. Nice use of the Lightning Shield, maximizing damage onto multiple units here as the Demon Hunter is just now about to pop on out. Let's take a look at this. Ancient of War now going to be going after another rogue here. Oh, very, very close. Has to be very careful. There's one quick kill. There's another quick kill. And now the Renegade Wizard will get taken down. Meanwhile, on the far side, Archmage is using Militia to creep out this Renegade Wizard creep camp as well. Renegade Wizard going to fall. Claws of Attack +6 will be left behind as the Water Elemental is absorbing much of that damage. Demon Hunter already at level 2 now. You can see that he has not teched Evasion or anything, as a matter of fact. Still has 2 skill points to use. Very, very important. He could have tried to go for perhaps Evasion, but with that Ancient of War tanking so much of that damage, it really didn't matter. Alright, you can now see that he perhaps has teched Evasion here. What's going to be happening? There you go. Mana burns out that Shadow Priest to make sure that it cannot heal nearly as much, and also taking a little bit of extra damage there. Meanwhile, Footman is coming in to join in on this fight. You can see that the Footman and the Archer are going back and forth, and that's not going to be a good fight for that Footman, as the Demon Hunter does have an absurdly high base attack similar to that of the Blade Master, except for without any of those nasty criticals. Archmage, on the other hand, deciding to actually stay within his realm of the base a little bit longer than I thought. I would have expected him to try and Militia creep out the Mercenary camp next. Instead, he actually went for the Goblin Merchant shop, which is a little bit strange. Archmage instead gonna creep out his entire neck of the woods, and then perhaps try and creep out this Renegade Wizard creep camp as well, with the help of Militia and establishing up an expansion. Alright, with that expansion, he should be able to set up a very long economic game, as games on Terranistan generally go. And there you have it. There are the Militia. No, the Militia now, where are they running off to? Are they running off to the north? It looks like they are running off to the north. Not quite sure why they are headed there. They're going to get there with quite some time to spare. They should have perhaps waited for the rest of the army to actually get there before really making a play. No, they're actually running far to the top right-hand side of the map here. So Nicker and Yumiko, they're actually going to try and creep out this top right-hand side and figure out what's going to be happening there. All right, meanwhile, the Demon Hunter giving chase to this Footman here. Yumiko is trying to get back. Let's see what's going to be happening here. The Demon Hunter does have Sentry Wards and is also going for Huntresses as well. Meanwhile, the Archmage is in position, is going to go ahead and be able to clear this all out, as this creep camp is going to fall. Rather easy creep camp, as the Huntress does spot this location, and now we are already building up a couple of towers. This should be a very, very easy expansion to hold. with the Archmage sitting there, even though there is currently a level 3 Demon Hunter. Level 3 Demon Hunter, level 2 mana burn most likely, already running straight on in, going after some of these units, and it looks like one peasant will get taken down. Meanwhile, the tower is currently just being massively repaired right now, and is it going to stay up? Oh, the Demon Hunter very, very low on life. Is it going to be able to back out? Demon Hunter is forced to scroll of Town Portal out. A very, very dangerous call there by Nicker, as Nicker now escapes with this one low hit point Huntress and one very low hit point Demon Hunter. That Demon Hunter did head all the way back home and is now licking his wounds, so to speak. He didn't really stop or prevent this expansion from going down, so I believe he is a little bit worse for wear. A Tree of Life coming in also by Nicker as well. He wants to set up his own expansion, as the expansions here do make a lot of sense. They are actually far off into the corner, making it very difficult and not your normal travel patterns. We should be seeing a guard tower come in here as well as soon as we have enough gold and lumber. Not quite sure what the gold and lumber count is for Yumiko, as the Demon Hunter realizes, you know what, I cannot stick around in that fight. That mana burn is just going to be too nasty. There goes another 60-point mana burn onto that Archmage. Archmage still, though, with Brilliance Aura and a Mantle of Intelligence, should be able to get back up to 125 in no time flat. Alright, Archmage now making a giant move with what seems to be about a 40 size army. This is really dangerous for Nicker. Nicker does not have the units to really combat what Yumiko is currently throwing at him. That is going to be a really, really bad sign there. Meanwhile, there is a sentry ward in position to try and block this expansion, or at least keep tabs on it. As you can see that the Demon Hunter is still wandering around here, gonna come back in, perhaps get off another mana burn, as that Archmage is getting dangerously high. There is a 97-point mana burn there, denying another Water Elemental, which is very, very important. Also, the Panda now has been picked up, so a Breath of Fire could be coming in from behind, and all of a sudden what looks like a very, very one-sided battle for Yumiko could turn around and become a very big battle for Yumiko, as that one Panda just dealt so much damage across all of those units there, and now the Footmen are trying to run away. Alright, we should be getting in another Breath of Fire there. There goes the Footmen. They are all scattering, running to every corners of the map, trying to hide, but the Demon Hunter with Boots of Speed, moving around so quickly, should be able to get and take down those Footmen. Alright, one Footman and Archmage now trying to come in and aggroing the the creeps around the Tree of Life. So the Tree of Life wants to set up another expansion of his own, but I don't believe he'll be able to do that. Dryads have now come out, and the Dryads now with slow poison going to really hurt Yumiko. Yumiko may find himself a bit behind after he nearly took out the Demon Hunter. He is now finding himself in a little bit of a precarious situation, as his opponent is already getting Dryads, already has the Panda, and with that Panda, we now need to get a very, very fast tech to tier 2 for those Spellbreakers. Alright, those Spellbreakers are going to be very, very important to try and absorb that Breath of Fire, also deny mana onto that Panda. You can see the Tree of Life is going to be entangling that gold mine here at any moment now. Demon Hunter and Dryads are not going to be able to push in here, as we are now looking at a very, very, well, I guess worse for wear army here. But they are going to be able to survive and heal back up. Alright, Nicker needs to figure out what his follow-up play is going to be. Meanwhile, the Archmage now wandering around inside really his opponent's neck of the woods. This could be rather dangerous, especially if Dryads are in position to try and slow down this Archmage. There you go. That Archmage is going to take a little bit of damage over time with that slow poison, and that Archmage is just wandering around here. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter is setting down wards all across the map, trying to figure out where his opponent is. Meanwhile, Goblin Shredder comes in to try and take down this gold mine, and there's the Staff of Teleportation. Archmage now shows up, and this is a huge play, stopping this entangled gold mine before it is done. That is potentially huge. It cannot be repaired, as the Goblin Zeppelin gets picked back up. Or, sorry, the Goblin Zeppelin picks back up the Goblin Shredder and that Archmage with that Water Elemental. Very, very strong harassment tactic there. Nicely done, nicely played, as the Panda now trying to get to level 2 will be doing exactly that here. Level 3 Demon Hunter, level 2 Panda going up against a solo level 1 Archmage. as that Archmage does not have does not have any help just quite yet. He could start training up a Mountain King. That could be in the books. Mountain King, Archmage, a very, very strong combination as we're looking at this Entangled Goldmine nearly completed. Off to the north, though, Footmen have dropped into the base, and wow, this is going to be a huge surround here. You can see that the Goblin Shredder is pretty much surrounded, and that is going to be a very, very bad day. That Goblin Shredder going to get taken down. There it goes. And with that Goblin Shredder now down, the lumber harvesting is going to be that much more difficult. Ancient of Wind now being trained up as well. You can see one Goblin Zeppelin with 7 footmen inside, keeping pressure all on his opponent's side of the map here. And what is going to be the follow-up play now? There is no towers, no dryads, nothing here, but he is further along. He is teching the Tree of Eternity and should be able to start teching a mastery on those bears in just a moment if he wants to go that route. So far, the Zeppelins are still pulling themselves into the every which corner of the map. Here we go. A Zeppelin now going to be dropping inside the expansion here, going straight after it. And that Entangled Goldmine is going to end up getting stalled out a bit. All right, meanwhile, you can see, a Hippogriff trying to go after this one Zeppelin. That Zeppelin down to 339 hit points, 500 and out of 575. This could be really bad here. Is the Zeppelin going to be able to get away? 224. Is it going to get away? It looks like it should be able to 171 as all the footmen are dropped back down. Meanwhile, here, you can see that the Water Elemental and Goblin Shredder was not able to finish off this Entangled Goldmine. Some very, very quick repair work, perhaps, able to save this Entangled Goldmine. As now we need to see what Yumiko's follow-up play is going to be. Yumiko looked like he was paying too much attention to his harassment and not enough attention to his macro, thereby being forced to speed build a farm in order to train up more units. Panda will not get to level 2 here. We'll get awfully, or level 3 here. We'll get awfully, wait, is he going to get to level 3 here? It looks like he may actually get to level 3 here. I'm quite surprised about that. I didn't think there was actually enough, but yes, he is going to get to level 3 here. And meanwhile, back down over here, you can see that there is, well, I thought I saw something. Never mind. Panda is now sitting at level 3. It looks like we are going to be going into another tree. Not 100% sure about that, going into so many ancients already. You can see that he's already sitting at 51 over 70, and this is one of those situations where you just may want to detonate one of your own wisp, just so that you are, maybe he just did exactly that, detonating a wisp, or getting this Tree of Life set up so that you are not upside down or into that low upkeep. Alright, Ancient of Lore now joining in on that fight, absorbing a bit of damage, doing a great job. You can see one very low hit point Huntress has not been aggroed, as the Kobold Geomancers are going to get finished off. All right, one low hit point Huntress I just taken out there, as opposed to trying to keep it alive. Ancients of Lore, I guess the upgrade for movement speed has been completed, as the footmen are now getting into position here. Demon Hunter does have an Orb of Venom, and here you go. There's a quick Stormbolt onto the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter now in a little bit of trouble, being forced to back off here, and there is a lot of footmen here with the Fen. All of a sudden, this army of Dryads doesn't look nearly as strong, and this expansion over here on the bottom left will get just absolutely pummeled. All right, there's a Drunken Haze, there's a Breath of Fire, and so much damage being... so much damage just being absorbed right here on all of those footmen. However, the Spellbreakers are coming in, and the Panda, who is in a very, very forward position, has to be extremely careful. There's another Drunken Haze. There's another Breath of Fire, as the Riflemen are doing a lot of missing here in this fight. This is not looking good at all. Are we going to perhaps see a Stormbolt from the Mountain King? No, Mountain King was out of mana, as we are now speed building an Arcane Vault, and this should be enough to just start pressuring this Tree of Life. However, there is already a Tree of Life being built back off at the, what I would say, the more natural expansion here, and this is going to be a very high investment for Yumiko. This is going to be one of those situations where is the juice worth the squeeze, so to speak? Speed building an Arcane Vault, building up a whole bunch of guard towers. Is it really worth this one Tree of Life? You can see that the Tree of Life is just getting pummeled right now. It looks like all the Wisp are just going to get away. Not going to have a problem there. Doesn't even want to deal with it as the Footmen are now trying to catch up. There are bears in position. There are Ancients of Lore here, which will be needed. And you can now see that this Entangling Gold Mine is going to get transferred a whole bunch of new Wisp or old Wisp from this previous base. More importantly, though, the Moonwells and all of these necessary buildings that you really want to keep, Moonwells with a far amount or a very, very large amount of moon juice in them, could have tipped things in favor if there was a fight. Bears and Dryads against Riflemen, Spellbreakers, and Mortar teams. Those Riflemen and Mortar teams should be able to destroy those Dryads and melt them in a moment's notice, as Dryads are rather squishy units, rather small, only 435 hit points, and because they are unarmored, take additional damage from piercing and siege units. All right, Ancient of Lore attempting to get away. That Ancient of Lore looks like it is booking it out of there as fast as it can, as we are now looking at the bears coming back down over here. All right, let's go into a little bit of an engagement here. Is the Orb of Venom? Yes, the Orb of Venom is doing a little bit of damage to that Goblin Zeppelin. Obviously not poisoning it, as it is a mechanical unit, but able to at least hit the air unit there. As the Demon Hunter now still wandering around. We're at the 16-minute mark of this game, and both of these players have just dug in their heels and are going to be fighting it out. A new expansion now being placed down over here, and this is a big surprise. A new expansion down over here. The Town Hall is going to be placed down, and it's now going to be 3 bases to 2 in favor of Yumiko. Yumiko, how much supply is he really sitting on? Yumiko sitting at 79 over 84. So sitting at 79 over 84 supply, he's not really going to be able to harvest that much additional gold, as he doesn't want to go into low upkeep or high upkeep. High upkeep off of 3 bases is only 12 gold a second, compared to 14 gold a second on 2 bases for low upkeep. That is a significant difference there, especially when you consider you need 5 extra peasants to even start mining. The juice and the payoff isn't really there at all. All right, let's go ahead and see what this next fight's going to be. Yumiko just building towers all across the bases. There is a Stormbolt now coming in, as the Demon Hunter getting absolutely wrecked here. All right, Spellbreaker should be getting in a lot of spell steal, as the bears are now just trying to move forward. All right, here we go. Bears now trying to move forward here. Are we going to be able to push forward? There is a whole bunch of guard towers. Goblin Zeppelins here roar slow across multiple units, as the Fairy Dragons should be mana flaring, but they are just slightly outside of the range. That is not a good place to be in at all. You can see that the Dryads are trying to back off, and they do exactly that. And with no siege units... with no siege units in play, it is very, very difficult to get close to those guard towers and deal any sort of damage. Those Fairy Dragons would have really liked to park themselves much closer, but because of those guard towers, they would have been focused down rather quickly. All right, Bears now dealing with slow as well. The Dryads need a lot of extra mana to just remove all of this unnecessary slow, as we are now going perhaps onto and clearing out what looks to be a 4th base. The main gold mines still have about another, 3 minutes left in them, so Yumiko is going to have an astronomical supply lead and gold advantage. Let's take a look at this. 80 over 80 supply. Meanwhile, Yumiko is sitting at 80 over 96, and somehow Nicker is still hanging tight and doing a very, very good job here, just forcing engagements, and rather favorably, as that is a lot of bears. We should be perhaps seeing more upgrades as well. Are we getting closer and closer? Are we getting armor upgrade? Yes, we are. Those bears are going to be 3-2 in just a second. Demon Hunter and Panda, both of them sitting at level 4. Meanwhile, Archmage is sitting at level 4, and I believe the Mountain King is maybe sitting at 2, maybe 3. Yes, just sitting at 3 now. but has plenty of mana as well. All right, there is the roar, and are we going to go ahead and into an engagement? All right, Stormbolt onto the Panda. The Panda really losing a lot of its mana, needs to get out of there. There's a quick roar as well, as the Fairy Dragons are now in position. The Fairy Dragons do have extra armor here, and they are actually doing that mana flare job really well against all of those casters. The problem is that the Fairy Dragons are going to get focused down by those guard towers rather quickly. You can see that happening now. But that means that the bears are actually free to do a lot of their damage as well. We are continuing this fight. Scroll of Healing, Demon Hunter still pushing forward as best as he can. Panda now out of mana, no more Breath of Fire coming in from him. The Fairy Dragon will get focused down there, as we now see the bears are going after some of those guard towers and some of those peasants. We are still pushing very, very far forward. Demon Hunter low on hit points. Is he going to be able to make it out? No, he's not able to make it out, but uses a potion of healing. Panda gets off another Breath of Fire somehow. I don't know how he got enough mana for that, as the Panda now sits at level 5. Demon Hunter pushing in very, very far here. The problem with the mortar teams is that, yes, they do deal a lot of damage to the Dryads, but the team composition was mainly consisting of bears. One bear may get taken down. Yes, one bear does go down there. However, the guard towers are gonna get taken down again and again. Let's see what's happening. There's the Demon Hunter going after additional units. The Demon Hunter now absorbing a whole bunch of damage. However, with that high armor and with the rejuvenation on his back, he was able to get away and not experience too many difficulties. All right, all these bears need to go back into Druid form, start rejuvenating some hit points, or some mana, and then rejuvenating hit points as well. All right, bear, go back into Druids, go back into bear, or what? Bears go back into Druid form. You will regenerate more mana that way, and it is better for you in the long run, since you're just right now sitting here. All right, it looks like the rejuvenation just going down. Good old-fashioned rejuvenations. Meanwhile, what's going to be happening here? Come on, go back into bear, go back into Druid form. No, you're going to stay in. All right, one gold mine now has been drained. We're sitting at 79 over. Oh, wow, detonating a whole bunch of Wisp to try and free up supply. So Nicker is hoping to finish this fight up rather quickly. He wants to finish this fight up rather quickly. You can see that the Druids are now on the move again, and they are rather low on mana, so this could go very, very poorly if there is another fight here. All right, one of the Druids still doesn't have enough mana. It looks like he may be trying to go somewhere. There is a whole bunch of flares just keeping tabs on the army, as we are now looking at a very, very slow tower walk into his opponent's base. Goblin Shredder down over here. Let's take a look at what Yumiko's army is. 80 over 96 with still plenty of gold. Meanwhile, Nicker is actually in a not so favorable spot. 79 over, well, only not as much gold by far, getting about half as much gold, or exactly half as much gold as his opponent. But we are looking at 3-2 bears. And are we going to actually upgrade to 3-3? No, we are not. 3-2 bears. And I am surprised that we don't see griffins at this point, considering how many bears are on the field. Demon Hunter sitting at level 5. Panda also sitting at level 5 as well. The Panda just runs in, breaths of fire, and now it gets Staff of Preservation out. That mortar team needs to get healed back up. There are so many Spellbreakers up front taking that Breath of Fire and just kind of laughing at that, at the Panda there. The Panda really didn't do much at all. And the Panda does have a True Shot aura, but without any Dryads, it's not going to really make much of a difference. All right, bears, and lots of them currently just sitting in the backfield, perhaps waiting for the right opportunity to strike. Striking anywhere at this point is going to be a bad situation. A little bit of a standoff. If you try to engage, you are pretty much going to fall apart. And oh, there is a Breath of Fire. There's a little bit of feedback damage. As are we going to perhaps get another Staff of Preservation? Yes, we are. The Demon Hunter gets a mana burn off onto the Mountain King. Important to get that mana burn, but the Demon Hunter cannot suffer that much damage at the same time. Perhaps another rejuvenation, yes, from a more well-endowed Druid, as we are now looking to push in again. All right, these bears, many of them actually in the 200 mana range. That's going to be very, very useful come the next fight, as some of the bears, and oh, what happened here? 3 bears caught out of position. This is going to be some very, very, very easy bears to take down. The bears now trying to run back away. It looks like, are they dizzy? Dizziness. Their Zeppelin got taken out, and they were really caught behind enemy lines. This is now bad. The Mountain King is off over here. Meanwhile, we have a large engagement at the front. A little bit of a split play. I don't know if that was on purpose or on accident, but pulling the Mountain King that far back may have actually opened up things for Nicker. All right, Demon Hunter quickly teleported back now. Are we going to see more units come back? Another bear does get taken down. Demon Hunter is off over here. Needs to get some Moonwell juice as we are looking at this bear. I'm just tailing off here. Does end up surviving as we also see some bears off over here. One bear and another bear over here. Perhaps another rejuvenation is in order. All right, still having plenty of gold in these gold mines. Scroll of Regeneration, more guard towers being built. Are we getting more masonry upgrades? No, we are not. We are only seeing at tier 1 masonry upgrades, which does give them 6 armor over 5 and also an additional 10% more hit points. All right, I remember when those guard towers had 800 hit points fully upgraded with 8 armor. So difficult to take out. Anyways, let's see what's going to happen next. Whole bunch of bears now regrouping. We are looking at 79 over 90 supply. Chimera roast. Chimera roast, roost, not roast. Yeah, I'm not eating this. It's a roost. Chimera roost ready to go, and they should be able to take down these guard towers rather easily. However, how many chimeras does he really have right now? He is dealing, 70 to 134 damage. He does have very heavy armor on those chimeras. Did we get tier 3 armor? Yes, we did. So these chimeras are fully upgraded at 3-3, 32% damage reduction. That is very heavy, as the bears are also going to be absorbing a lot of damage as well. All right, Ancients may pick themselves up and start walking, as well as we're also going into the Corrosive Breath. Not 100% sure about that, since you do deal magic damage against these guard towers, which is, I believe, the main reason why you're attacking them. You don't really want to do siege damage to them, or does it choose between the 2 attacks? Not 100% sure. All right, 80 to 144 damage with that True Shot aura. You can take a look. Zeppelins, or not a Zeppelin, flying machines we're trying to engage off on the side over here. And Yumiko sitting at 80, or Yumiko sitting at 80 over 100 supply. Looks like he is just going to start slowly building up a bank, as the guard towers now also have magic sentry, just in case any sort of invisibleness does go on. All right, let's take a look at that Corrosive Breath. I guess it has a further range. Oh, no. Yeah, the siege range is really high, 850 damage. So that's the reason why you want to go for that Corrosive Breath. You're able to attack and take down the guard tower pretty easily there, as there is also a rejuvenation right there on that Chimera. All right, are we going to perhaps get a Breath of Fire? Yes, we do. There is a Breath of Fire. Or we may get a Staff of Preservation. Oh, this Chimera is now getting slowed. This could be really bad. Are we going to perhaps turn around? And all it really takes is going to be one good shot from the Panda's Breath of Fire to really focus down all of these flying machines. All right, are we getting another Chimera yet? No, we are not. Still sitting at 79 over 90 supply. And this Chimera really needs to figure out how to attack and deal its damage. And what is going to be the follow-up play. All right, let's see. Chimera going after the guard tower here. Mountain King is still in position. There's a Breath of Fire. And did it get another tower? It looks like it will be able to get another tower here in just a second. There's a Rejuvenation. There is a Stormbolt. There's a Roar still. And this is just absolutely funny, as the Panda moves forward to try to get off a Breath of Fire. Not going to be able to do that spell steal onto the Archmage, as the guard tower looks like it will get taken down. All right, there's a Breath of Fire, and there it goes. There's a Stormbolt, as we are still in a bit of a standoff here. If only there was pillage on this Chimera, then perhaps I would say Nicker has a chance, but he is currently behind 2 bases to 1, or no, 3 bases to 2, as another base has been taken. All right. Still slowly making its way over. 1 Chimera at a time is not going to do it. We're sitting at 600 gold, 200 lumber, but the army of Nicker is actually slightly larger, since he has so few wisp. He doesn't have any wisp that I can see on the field anywhere. He only has 5 wisp or 4 wisp in this gold mine. So he is really mining it out here. As you can see that the Demon Hunter was trying to get some damage off onto those flying machines off to the side. Another reveal off to the north does keep track of all of this. The Chimera is looking to perhaps take down the building again. There goes another set of buildings, and this arcane tower is not going to survive this slow barrage, and it's very slow moving. Let's take a look at this arcane tower. One more shot and it will go down. If the pandas and the panda and the Demon Hunter actually level off of this, this would be an amazing turnaround, as we are now looking at the Archmage trying to come in. All right, Demon Hunter doesn't get off a mana burn. A little bit of feedback damage coming in as well, as we now once again pull back. Chimeras is trying to deal as much damage as possible, actually going to position themselves off to the side. The Riflemen are not going to be able to get over there. The Flying Machines could, and now the Flying Machines are now engaging against the Chimera, but the Panda is going to be there as well, making sure to protect it. All right, oh, the Panda a little bit too close there. There's a Stormbolt now, and there is the attack. Oh, the Chimera taking a lot of damage. Spellbreakers, Mana Burn now onto the Mountain King. Spellbreakers now trying to come in. Bears are going to be going into bear form, and are we going to be going into engagement finally? It looks like that is the case. The Hippogriffs need to engage as well. Chimera is going after the Water Elementals, as there's a rejuvenation onto the Chimera. Both sides engaging. Where is that Demon Hunter? Demon Hunter now back at home is slowed. Meanwhile, the Hippogriffs are trying to engage up against those Flying Machines. The Flying Machines are pretty safe in the back here, but if the Panda can get off a Breath of Fire like none other, all those Flying Machines will go down. Demon Hunter is going to go down. There it goes. Flying Machines, Drunken Haze does not stick to them, as so many Flying Machines are now in the red. All right, we are now looking to go back around. Are we going to see an engagement? Oh, there's a Breath of Fire. Panda now sitting at level 6, but I believe this is going to be too much of a push. The Bears are now trying to engage. The Flying Machines have nothing to attack. They need to get the Siege attack now, as that is not going to be enough. All right, the Druid of the Claws. The lower hit point Druids of the Claw need to back off. Meanwhile, this one is still right there. What is happening next? Storm still pushing in here pretty regularly, as the Panda now backing off here. All right, this Panda really hoping that there was a Staff of Preservation somewhere on the map. Demon Hunter is being resurrected the old-fashioned way, and if that Altar of Elders gets taken down, that is pretty much going to be the end of it. All right, Bear, what is this? Mountain King is going to end up getting surrounded. This could be potentially huge now. Archmage is going to try and save this. There's a Tome of Retraining. Oh, invisibility now onto the Mountain King, as the Mountain King is going to survive here. There's a rejuvenation again, as we are still trying to fight, and a Breath of Fire as the Mountain King uses Potion of Invulnerability. Perfect timing there. The Panda may even have to use a Potion of Invulnerability as well, as the Bears are very low on hit points. Low hit point Bears now trying to back off. Panda now trying to engage, trying to avoid all of these Spellbreakers who are just taking away all of their mana. Hippogriffs going after the units here, as there is one very low hit point Chimera going after some units. Breath of Fire takes down another Sorceress. This is a long drawn out battle, but the Bears are really going to be the problem. And now I don't see any more Flying Machines. There is one Chimera in the air, and that one Chimera could actually spell a lot of trouble. All right, let's see. Take a look at this. The Panda now seeing that level 6. Is it going to finish off this Water Elemental? I don't believe so, as we see that the Demon Hunter is now coming back in. We're seeing that 55 over, or 62 over 100 supply. Gold off over here. We now see just mining more and more gold, and I'm not sure who is coming out of these fights in the better so far. Let's take a look at this. 88 over 100 supply. Meanwhile, Nicker is sitting at a lot less than that, sitting at 62, and we are going to be going into another engagement. Demon Hunter in a bad way now, taking a Stormbolt already, needs to get back and get back in a hurry. All right, it looks as though the Spellbreakers are ready to charge in. All of these Druids need rejuvenation, and I think it's just going to be the sheer timing of this attack that makes it rather difficult. Hippogriffs coming in. Demon Hunter now needs to try and engage. You can see that the Demon Hunter, the Demon Hunter now trying to hide in the back here. That is a whole bunch of Spellbreakers, as we are now looking at the Water Elemental going after the Mortar teams. If the Mortar teams get taken down, that is going to be a huge loss as well, as now we see that the Panda has been Stormbolted again. Oh, huge misplay. The Panda needs to get over and protect that Chimera. Is it going to be able to get there in time? Let's see. The Chimera is now pulling back. Are we going to see a Breath of Fire? Breath of Fire onto all those units would be absolutely perfect. There you go. Hippogriffs finishing it off. 2 Chimeras now in the air. Staff of Preservation saving one of them, as the Demon Hunter is now trying to lead the army back again. Bears are falling left and right. Low hit point Panda now will be able to make it all the way back home, as the Hippogriffs pretty much have nowhere to go. Another Bear does get taken down, and this very, very long, drawn-out game now finally looks like Nicker is going to be coming to an end here. Bear after bear after bear currently falling to the wayside as another Chimera trying to be trained up. All right. It looks like as though this is pretty much going to be the end now. The riflemen are even backing off. No real way to get rid of those spellbreakers, even with mass bears and dealing so much damage. It looks like the spellbreakers were upgraded as well. Spellbreakers, wait, that's not the spellbreaker. Where is the spellbreaker? Spellbreaker's down over here. Yeah, spellbreakers are upgraded too. Now going after a water elemental. Demon Hunter down over here trying to stay alive. He does not have a potion of invulnerability. Meanwhile, this bear is gonna survive at 22 hit points. And wow, very, very low on mana again. All right, let's take a look at this. Chimera sitting at 39 hit points. Bear sitting at 28 hit points. And not enough rejuvenation to go around. All right, Moonwells need to start doing more, but I believe this is going to be it. It looks like Yumiko is going to take game number 2 in this series, as we are now sitting at 48 over 90 supply. Let's take a look at this. Plenty of gold left for Yumiko still. He's going to be pushing in with a rather large army, spellbreakers, and also adding in some knights as well. The knights do not have the animal war training, but with inner fire, it is going to be so difficult to stop them. 14 armor on a knight is so difficult to take out. Add in the fact that those priests will be healing 25 damage each, and that is pretty much going to be end of that. All right, are we going to see a Drunken Haze or anything? Spellbreaker quickly catches the panda, and there's the GG. A little bit anticlimactic at the end. Resource score, or the unit score and the resource score, the real big difference there. Nicker unable to catch up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game number 2.